In today's video, we're launching a new series in regards to the 2024 NHL Draft. We're going to take a deeper look at these prospects. Today, we're going to take a look at the top 10 prospects on defense, and that's coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, today we're going to take another look here at some of the prospects for the upcoming 2024 NHL Draft. Now, we've done lots of mock drafts. We've done lots of draft lottery stuff before the draft lottery was completed. Now that we're past that, we're getting closer to the actual draft itself. I want to take a little bit more of a deep dive and closer look at some of these prospects and maybe do some rankings here by position. So today, we're going to rank the top 10 D. We're going to be looking at the top 10 centers, top 10 wingers, and top 10 goalies as well. So stay tuned for those other videos coming here in the coming days leading up to the draft. I'm not sure exactly what day they'll all be released, but we're starting now with your top 10 defense. So for now, we're going to hop onto the computer, take a look at who I've ranked as a top 10 defense in this draft. Number one defenseman in this draft, no doubt, Arnold. Expected to go most likely second overall. Maybe he slips to third. I don't think he goes anything lower than that. Originally born in Belarus, he's been playing hockey in the United States since 2022. The original plan for him actually was to play in the Canadian Hockey League in the CHL to go to junior there, but after everything that's gone on in the world, CHL has not allowed Belarusian or Russian players to come to the CHL for the past couple of years. So obviously that's impacted him getting there. So he's ended up doing a year in the USHL, and then now he's at Michigan State, where as a freshman, he ended up leading the team in scoring, had a phenomenal year. This guy projects like he'll be a star right shot defenseman who can run your power play. Really smart, gifted guy, got good size and strength. Ultimately, this looks like he's a real star making in the potential here. It really does. I mean, like a lot of these guys, there's some work to be done on the defensive side of the puck, but all in all, I think he will get there to be a real strong 200-foot defender. Next up, we have Zeev Buium, American-born defenseman, University of Denver, national champion. Something he added to his resume this year as well. Really smooth skating, high-end quality defenseman, incredibly smart, always makes the smart plays, really strong on both ends of the ice. Like I said, though, the defensive play, not as strong as the offense, but still, I think long-term, he really does project to be a really solid top, not only top four for sure, but I think he's got the potential to be a top pair defenseman as well. But his skating ability alone and his intelligence and just how smart he is of a player is really, I think, what's grabbed a lot of teams' attentions. You throw in the fact that he was a point per game player on a national champion, so obviously the offense is there. Defensively, he can use his smarts and size and strength as well. I just think he long-term projects to be a real solid top pair left shot defenseman. Next up, we have Sam Dickinson of the London Knights. Dickinson, I think, also has strong potential to be a star player in the NHL. He's already got the size, 6'3", just shy of 200 pounds. Put up 70 points in 68 OHL regular season games this year. Of course, helped lead the London Knights, a big part of their success winning the OHL championship, and then being a finalist in the Memorial Cup. Put on his skating abilities, offensive ability in that tournament on the national stage, getting a lot more attention for sure. Dickinson, to me, can run a power play. I think long-term he can be able to play in all situations. So to me, I have him ranked third here. Different type of defenseman than Buium, but a little bit more of has more size for sure. And I think long-term, star power-wise, might be a little higher, hard to say. But to me, Dickinson is just a real solid player here all around. Will play top 4 minutes in all situations going forward. At 4, I have Zane Parekh of the OHL Saginaw Spirit. He can add Memorial Cup champion to his resume. Now, of course, he and Dickinson went head-to-head in the Memorial Cup final. Of course, those two teams had done battle earlier in the OHL playoffs. And Parekh is just a real dynamic defenseman. He might actually have the most skill, just pure offensive skill especially, amongst all these defensemen. He's right shot, which is a little tougher to find. Put up 90 points as a defenseman in the OHL, which is a rare feat. Just the ability to read, react, and anticipate the offense is really, really strong now. Occasionally, there's a little bit of high risk, high reward with Parekh, so you do occasionally get the odd bad mistake or bad read. Defensively speaking, of course, like he's pretty decent, but like a lot of these guys need work for sure to translate to the NHL. Be a big jump for him, but this guy has star power written all over him. I don't know that he's going to be Erik Karlsson-like, but he just kind of reminds me of that kind of player. I don't know if he'll reach those levels. That's a big comparison, so I don't want people to think he's Erik Karlsson 2.0, and it's not what I'm saying, but he has similar traits. At 5, I have Anton Silyev, the massive monster from Russia here, 6'7", well over 200 pounds. He may not go as the 5th prospect taken of the prospects on this draft. He very well could be the 2nd. There's some talk that a team like Anaheim really likes him at 3. We'll have to see. There's different opinions out there. He could go in the top 3 or 4 picks. He could also slip down and be, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 range, right? It's really difficult to say. But he's got like I said, he's a massive guy. He's defensive first. You're not going to get a lot of flash. You're not going to get a lot of offense. But he is just a massive, strong, stay-at-home defender. Like I said, 6'7". The wingspan on him is enormous. He's put up some really impressive numbers playing in Russia. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly how long he's committed to staying in Russia, but like most of these guys, probably a year or two, but he will be your prototypical shutdown defenseman in a few years' time when he's ready to make the jump. Next up at 6, we have Carter Yakimchuk of the Western Hockey League's Calgary Hitmen, another real solid, offensively gifted right shot defenseman. Again, something that a lot of teams covet. The right shot D is a little harder to find these days than it once used to be. He put up 30 goals this year in the Western Hockey League playing for Calgary. Overall, had himself a really, really solid season. Also had 71 total points. So his, playmaking ability, passing ability is also very strong. But he's also got the size and the strength to go along with that. 6'3", just shy of 200 pounds. He's a September birthday. There's lots to like. Now, Yakimchuk is probably not going to be a top 10 pick. I'm going to project that he's probably going to be in that 10 to 12, 13 range, somewhere around there. Could end up with a team like the Flyers, the Sabres, the Wild, one of those. You never know. Maybe a team really likes him and goes a little higher, but overall, he's a potential power play quarterback with good size and strength, and obviously as his defensive game comes around, could be somebody also who plays in all situations down the road. Next up, ranked 7th, I have defenseman Adam Jiricek, of course, the younger brother of David Jiricek, of course, of the Blue Jackets draft, high pick just not long ago. Jiricek unfortunately suffered a pretty serious knee injury and didn't have the greatest campaign in that regards, but there's still no doubt there's a lot of talent there. I do think Jiricek will still be a top 20 pick. He's a right shot. He's 6'2", needs to add a little muscle. He's only 168 pounds, but obviously that'll come with over time here. So he's got the height, he's got the frame, right shot defenseman, good mobility, good first pass. To me, not as likely to be a top pair as some of the guys ranked ahead of him, but still has solid potential to be a top 4, to maybe be a second pair guy who you could get some offense, some good defense, and just more of a well-rounded defenseman overall, which I think makes sense for a lot of teams. At number 8, we've got Stan Solberg, the big Norwegian defenseman who stands at 6'2", just a hair over 200 pounds. Probably the most violent defenseman in this draft. I honestly think he could go anywhere from middle of the first round to maybe towards the back half of the first round. Maybe he slips the second round. I don't know. I honestly think some of the teams that have multiple picks in round 1 especially would be more likely to take him in the first round. But to me, he's the kind of defenseman that you're going to want when the playoffs come around and the play gets really nasty. Clearing the front of the net, dealing with some of the big forwards, driving the net, anything like that. Like, he is going to be a defense first, mean streak type defenseman that you're not going to want to be on the bad side of. It's just quite that simple. If he has an opportunity to inflict pain on his opponent, he's taking advantage of that. So, to me, he's a player you're going to hate to play against, but you're going to love to have on your team. At 9, we have E.J. Emery. He's chosen to play for the U.S. internationally, but he actually has dual citizenship between Canada and the U.S. His dad is American, his mom's Canadian. His dad actually ended up, was a pro football player and played for a while in the CFL. I'm not 100% sure if that's how he met his mom by coming to Canada to play there, but that certainly gave him the option of being a citizen in both countries, so he opted to be U.S. for international hockey affairs in that sense, but he's kind of draws some comparisons to a guy like Andre Miller. He's tall, he's super athletic, really quick, one of the better backward skaters probably amongst these guys we're talking about as well. Pretty solid defensively, not going to give you a ton of flash offensively, but should be a pretty solid top 4, smooth skating, defensively reliable defenseman in the NHL down the road. Next up at 10, we have Henry Muse of the Ottawa 67s. Henry Muse is a pretty offense-first type defenseman, right shot. With Henry Muse, you do get a little bit of the questionable decision-making at times. A bit of a high-risk, high-reward type of player. Muse likely will be either late first round. He might slip into round number 2. Hard to say, but he certainly had an option here. He's played for Team Canada before. He's had international competition, which is good. Like I said, good offensive instincts, good skater. Just sometimes with the decision making a little bit questionable, and obviously needs work on his defensive end, but still a promising young defenseman that I think will have a good crack here at making the NHL. And we have another bonus one here. I couldn't really decide between Muse and I couldn't leave Cole Hudson off the list. To me, Cole Hudson's just another dynamic American-born defenseman, brother of Lane Hudson, who just came out of college and signed with Montreal. I do wonder where Hudson's going to go in the draft. Lots of different opinions on where he's ranked. I do think most of the defensemen I have ranked ahead of him here probably will be drafted ahead of him, but doesn't mean that a team won't recognize the talent and take him earlier. He really should be a first rounder in my opinion, but I won't be shocked if he goes a little bit later into the second round, drops a little bit like his brother did. But he's got a ton of talent. I think he has the option to be a power play quarterback. Obviously not a real big guy, so that's going against him, but in today's NHL world, smaller defensemen can be very successful. Obviously, sometimes you do need to be have some size back there as well, but I think Cole Hudson will make a terrific D here in a top 4 offensive role down the road. So those are my top 10 defenders ranked for the 2024 NHL Draft. Of course, as always, want to know what everybody thinks down below. Let me know which teams you think would be the best fit for some of these defenders. How would you rank them? I'd love to know your thoughts as well down in the comments so we can discuss further. As I mentioned, stay tuned for plenty more content regarding the 2024 NHL Draft and, of course, all your daily news and rumor updates here on Top Shelf Hockey as well. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time.